Last year really took so much from us, and many things this year continue to really challenge the perseverance of even the strongest families. We saw millions lose their jobs, their businesses, while all of us suffered from overreaction and scare tactics used in trying to respond to a virus. Yes, I do believe the virus is real, and I do believe that there was cause for concern, but as a result of our own reactions, we have effectively done so much damage to our world. We have ruined our economy and created a mountain of debt our grandchildren's grandchildren will still be paying for. We have put celebrities and politicians in positions of telling us what is right for our own families. We have destroyed relationships with each other over race, gender, religion, politics, and even just basic human values. We have seen friends and family estranged from each other because of all of it while our children watch on, taking it into their own little brains for how to treat each other. We can blame the government, cancel society, social media, violent video games, or even our own parents. But the truth is, sooner or later, we've got to get down to dealing with what is really actually we are going to do about all of this. Hi, I am Amy with Dragon's Bed Apothecary, and I'm a working mom and wife, just trying to live naturally well the best that I can every day. And this is my little video log sharing with you my thoughts and opinions about how to do that. Today, I'm going to talk about something very uncomfortable, and I ask you to stay with me. It is never fun to call ourselves out as the reason something is going well or that has even been destroyed. So often I think of how my son must feel when he knows he's in trouble for something, right? It doesn't feel good. I know as a child, I did the same thing. It was just kind of, you wanted to hide it. You sit and wait for how bad is this going to be, and you worry over it. And when your parents find out, how bad is that punishment going to be, you try to think of some reason or other for why it happened so you can get yourself out of it. You get tears in your eyes because you're upset and you're scared of what they're going to do or say, right? Or how bad the restriction is going to be. Yet in the end, the truth always does come out. We feel awful about it and we are sorry and we say that, right? And we feel bad for the, damage, pain, or hurt, and we promise never to do it again. And there's tears and hugs and maybe even a little restriction, repayment, or punishment to repay it. But we get through it, right? Okay, now I realize I'm describing the situation with a child, but so much of that is still true for us adults. We have severely hurt each other with our polarization of opinions that have overridden our good sense. We have let a virus override our entire sense of personal responsibility. We have even let celebrities and politicians be the reason friendships were destroyed between us. That's ridiculous. It is truly heartbreaking to see what we have done to our world, our country, communities, friendships, and relationships, and even ourselves through this whole thing. We have even made it every excuse imaginable about it too. It always seems someone else's fault that we are in where we are in life, right? It's always someone else is different than us, or what we believe that they are wrong about what they look like, feel like, believe, own, or do in their life, right? If someone has more than us, they are definitely wrong, right? That's our current mentality in society. It may not be popular to say this, but I believe all of this is just a big giant excuse we are making for the wrongs we are manifesting in this situation. Like it or not, that's my opinion. Oh, I definitely think there are more than enough wrongs on all sides of the issues too. But let's get past the first level of surface here and talk about the root cause. Okay? So I believe the bigger, See, I believe it is bigger than the virus. Don't even believe it started with the virus. While the virus took a great deal from us, that isn't actually where any of this started and or why we find ourselves where we are today. Okay? It started with our own lack of unnatural behavior. We became consumed with our own self gratification of needs and wants, and when those were not fast enough in being fulfilled, we became monsters demanding it be even faster and it be given to us right now. The virus, for as awful as that whole thing is, actually pointed out very clearly how badly we had been behaving because it forced us to slow down and actually look at ourselves. Those first few months in quarantine, when everyone was home and everything was shut down, toilet paper was non existent, and people were stopped from daily life, we started to realize how lonely and vulnerable we really are. We realized all the things we used to do, many of them not what actually made us happy. We turned to media where we were influenced to believe how awful the world had become, and one side was the cause of it all, but in truth, it was us. We were the cause. Each of us letting media opinions drive us apart and even further away from what we know in our heart is not right. We let hate separate us and put neighbor against neighbor to live in fear. I saw a posting on social media recently that said, it isn't people are concerned if you wear a mask or not. If they were, they would just stay away from you, right? They wouldn't get close to you because you don't have a mask on. That's not the case here, right? It is actually that you have the balls to be different and declare what is right for yourself, and it is seen as non-compliance and disobedience. It is not about the virus, skin color, political opinions, religious beliefs, or anything else that we are turning on each other in fear, hatred, and just pure disrespect for each other. It is about our own unwillingness to live naturally in peace with each other. We are literally destroying our communities where we raise our families, and as a result of this, our children are suffering. The damage caused by this virus is nothing compared to the damage we have done in this entire situation to each other. We have done it all, and we continue to do more and more of it every single day. There is now so much strife and disconnect in our lives, I fear we may never recover. And I'll probably lose some subscribers for saying all this. Yet, here's the deal. Just like children, we have to throw our tantrum, make all the excuses we can, and then be willing to grow up and from it, right? Ask and receive forgiveness, and then work to rebuild and clean up our own mess. Now, that's pretty harsh talk, I get it. And I don't even know where we would begin to clean up this mess. But I know the time for the crying about what is wrong and making excuses for why it is and what's going on does not gain us the ability to start working on that. It's making things worse by continuing what we are doing, and it doesn't allow us to focus on how to make it better. So, there are some super big issues with big consequences for all of us that are at stake. The first step, though, is to always look at our own behavior and contribution to those problems and stop making excuses for it continuing. That's just my tough mom talk there. We are living so far outside of natural right now, and while the excuses are easy to make, they are not anywhere near what we need to be doing to making things better for anyone, including our children. While I may not be an expert on social and world problem solving, as a mom, I can tell you it starts with us, admitting our role in the situation and to stop living in the fear of the responsibility of our own actions. What we are saying is that the problem and what the problem is makes the difference between just another excuse that's doing nothing to repair our communities and relationships with each other, or do anything about why the things are in the way that they are in our world right now. It also doesn't move us forward as a human race focused on making our world better and showing our children the right way to live naturally. Until next time, friends, I'm sorry for the heated post, but I just had to say what was on my heart about this, because I just hurts my heart to see what we are doing to our communities and our relationships with each other over things that are just not